Gentlemen, imagine this. You've been pursuing her for weeks, maybe months. You've sent the good morning texts, the how was your day messages. You've been attentive, polite, and respectful. You've done everything that you thought would show her you cared. And what do you receive in return? Silence. Maybe a short, cold response if you're fortunate. Now here's where it becomes fascinating. The very moment you stop doing what every other man does, something almost paradoxical begins to happen. The act that feels like surrender, pulling away, stepping back, often becomes the very catalyst that makes her pursue you. This isn't about playing games. It's not about manipulation. It's about understanding a deeper layer of female psychology instinct, hardwired into human behavior. Let's explore why withdrawing attention can flip the script, and why the woman who once ignored you may suddenly find herself chasing after you. Number 1, scarcity creates value. Think of economics, supply and demand. When something is abundant, it's overlooked. When something is scarce, it becomes valuable. When you're constantly available, you become like tap water, always there, unnoticed, unappreciated. But the moment you truly withdraw, not by delaying a reply for a few hours, but by genuinely disappearing, something shifts. The absence becomes louder than the presence ever was. Take the story of Marcus. For 6 months, he was always available to a woman named Sarah. Good morning texts, constant compliments, endless emotional support. She treated him as a convenient outlet, but nothing more. Then Marcus stopped, not out of anger, but because he genuinely moved on. 3 weeks later, Sarah was suddenly calling, texting, even reaching out late at night. 6 months of attention meant little. 3 weeks of absence meant everything. That's scarcity in action. Remove yourself and suddenly you're no longer ordinary. You're a mystery, and the human mind is compelled to solve mysteries. Number 2, the competitive instinct. Scarcity alone creates value, but adds competition and the effect intensifies. Women don't just want what's rare, they want what others also desire. It's an ancient instinct rooted in survival and social status. Imagine this, you used to circle around her like a satellite. She was the center of your world. Then one day, she sees you smiling, laughing, and genuinely enjoying life with others. Does she feel relief that you've moved on? Not likely. Instead, her instincts spark. The sight of another woman enjoying what she once dismissed changes the entire equation. I once witnessed this in a coffee shop. A man who had been treated as an afterthought walked in with someone new. He was relaxed, present, and not concerned with the woman who had ignored him for months. Within minutes, that same woman was approaching, interrupting, trying to reclaim his attention. Competition reframes value. If others see something worth having, it forces her to reconsider what she overlooked. Number 3, the emotional roller coaster. Now we arrive at the most powerful dynamic, emotional contrast. The University of British Columbia conducted a study where women were shown images of men displaying different expressions, happy, proud, and mysterious. The results were striking. Women found the mysterious, slightly aloof men more attractive than the overtly happy ones. Why? Because attraction thrives on tension, not predictability. When you're always available, always eager, always cheerful in her presence, you create an emotional, flatline, predictable, safe, boring. That type of energy fosters friendship, not desire. But when you withdraw, you introduce uncertainty. Suddenly there are highs and lows, questions without answers, space for curiosity. Her mind, once comfortably settled, now searches for resolution. It's the same mechanism that keeps us hooked on stories. A good story doesn't reveal everything at once. It builds suspense. It withholds. It creates cliffhangers. Attraction works the same way. When you shift from constant presence to occasional mystery, you transform from predictable background into an engaging narrative she wants to pursue. Number 4, social proof through self-mastery. A common mistake men make is trying to perform value, pretending to be confident, feigning busyness, fabricating an image of desirability. But this performance rarely lasts. It feels shallow and transparent. True social proof is not about convincing others. It's about embodying a life that naturally demonstrates worth. When you become genuinely engaged in your pursuits, work, passions, friendships, you no longer have the time or energy to chase someone who disregards you. And paradoxically, this very independence becomes magnetic. A Harvard study on social dynamics found that people who are genuinely selective with their time are perceived as more competent, more successful, and more attractive than those who are endlessly available. It isn't about pretending you're busy. It's about actually building a life that keeps you occupied because it matters to you. That life becomes your social proof. Number 5, the power of genuine indifference. This final principle is what separates pretenders from those who truly evolve. You cannot fake indifference. Women sense neediness as quickly as fire detects oxygen. The transformation happens when you reach a place where you genuinely don't need her attention to validate your worth. Dr. Helen Fisher, who has studied love and attraction extensively, found that uncertainty, someone being hard to read, stimulates dopamine release in the brain. This makes the pursuit more compelling. But the mystery only works if it is authentic. When you are genuinely fulfilled, immersed in your goals, surrounded by supportive people, living a meaningful life, you don't withhold attention as a tactic. You simply don't chase because your life is already rich. At that point, you're not pretending to be hard to get. You are hard to get. Not because you're playing a role, but because winning your attention requires stepping into the orbit of a man who is already complete. That is what women sense. And that is why the one who once overlooked you may suddenly find herself chasing you. The reasons are simple but profound. Scarcity creates value. Competition sparks instinct. Emotional contrast fuels desire. Social proof comes from authentic self-mastery. And genuine indifference is the final unshakable truth.